3 weeks ago I found out my wife has another family. Not an ex-husband, not a kid she gave up, a whole second life she's been living for 6 years. And the worst part, I only found out because our 7-year-old daughter answered a phone that wasn't supposed to ring. Let me back up, I'm 38. My wife, I'll call her Laura, is 36. We've been married for 9 years, together for 12. We have 2 kids. Chloe is 7, Ethan is 4. From the outside we had the life people post about on Instagram. Nice house in the suburbs outside of Charlotte. 2 cars, a dog named Biscuit. We both worked good jobs. Laura's in pharmaceutical sales, which means she travels a lot. Usually 2 to 3 nights a week, sometimes a full week if there's a conference. I never questioned it. She was making good money, she always came home. She always FaceTimed the kids at bedtime from whatever hotel she was staying at. I had zero reason to doubt anything. I was a present dad, I coached Chloe's soccer team. I made lunches. I did bath time solo 3 nights a week without complaining. I thought we were a team. I genuinely believe that. 3 weeks ago, Laura left for what she said was a 4-day conference in Raleigh. Normal stuff. She kissed the kids goodbye on a Tuesday morning and drove off. That evening I was cleaning up after dinner and Chloe was playing in the living room. Laura's old iPad was on the couch. She'd left it behind, which wasn't unusual. She mostly used her phone for work anyway. Chloe picked it up because she wanted to play a game. Then I heard it ring, not a normal ring, a FaceTime call. Chloe, being 7, answered it before I could even react. I heard a voice, a kid's voice, a little boy. He said, and I will never forget this, he said, "Hi, Mummy. When are you coming home?" Daddy made spaghetti. Chloe looked confused. She said, "I'm not your mummy." And the little boy went quiet. Then a man's voice came on. He said, "Laura, who is this?" I walked over. I took the iPad from Chloe. On the screen was a man I'd never seen before, sitting in a kitchen I had never seen before, with a boy who looked about 5 years old standing beside him. The man looked just as confused as I was. I said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm Laura's husband." "Who are you?" I don't really remember the next few seconds clearly. My ears were ringing. Chloe was asking me what was wrong. I told her to go play in her room. She could tell something was off because she didn't argue. She just left. I sat down and talked to this man. His name was Dan. He lived in Raleigh. He said he and Laura had been together for 6 years, married for 4. They had a son together, 5 years old, named Oliver, 6 years. She had been doing this for 6 years. Oliver was born a year after Ethan. I did the math later. She was pregnant with this man's child. While I was changing diapers and doing night feeds with our son, she was building a second family in a city 2.5 hours away, and using her job as cover. Dan didn't know about me. He didn't know about Chloe or Ethan. He thought Laura travelled for work too. She told him the same story she told me. Pharmaceutical sales, lots of conferences, lots of overnight trips. She had just reversed the geography. When she was travelling from our house, she was going home to him. When she was travelling from his house, she was coming home to me. Dan and I talked for almost an hour that night. He was calm at first, then his voice started shaking. Then he went quiet for a long time. I could hear Oliver in the background asking if he could watch a show before bed. Dan muted himself. I just sat there staring at the ceiling. I didn't call Laura that night. I don't know why. Maybe I was in shock. Maybe I wanted to see what she'd do. She FaceTimed the kids at bedtime like she always did. She smiled. She blew kisses. She told Ethan she loved him to the moon and back. I stood in the hallway outside the kids' room listening to her voice and thinking, how can you sound like that? How can you be that person to these kids and also be that person to a completely different family 2 hours away? Dan and I exchanged numbers. Over the next 2 days we compared everything, timelines, photos, holidays. It all fit like a horrible puzzle. Thanksgiving she spent at a work event, she was with him. His birthday dinners she missed because of travel conflicts, she was with me. She had 2 phones, 2 email addresses. She'd maintained this for over half a decade with almost no slip-ups. If Chloe hadn't answered that iPad, I don't know when or if I ever would have found out. On the 3rd day I called a lawyer. I didn't tell Laura anything. Dan and I agreed we'd confront her together. Over the phone, on Friday. Friday came. The kids were at my mum's house. I was sitting at the kitchen table. Dan was on speaker. Laura was driving home to my house, and I called her. I said, "Hey, Dan's on the line too, we should all talk." Silence, just road noise. Then she said, "What are you talking about?" Dan said, "Laura, we know." More silence. Then she pulled over. I could hear the turn signal, the crunch of gravel, and then she started crying. Not the kind of crying where someone is sad, the kind of crying where someone knows it's over. Where they've been carrying something for years and the weight of it finally collapses. She didn't deny it. She didn't try to spin it. She just kept saying I'm sorry over and over. Dan asked her how she could do this. She said she didn't know. She said it started as a mistake and she couldn't find a way out. I asked her if she loved him. She said yes. I asked her if she loved me. She said yes. And for some reason that was the answer that hurt the most, because it meant this wasn't about choosing someone over me. It was about wanting 2 lives and being willing to lie to everyone, including 3 children, to keep them both. She came home that night. I had her bags packed by the door. She didn't fight it. She stayed with her sister. Dan filed the next week. I filed the week after that. Our lawyers have been in contact. It's going to be complicated. 3 kids across 2 marriages. And she was the primary earner in both households. There will be custody hearings. There will be financial disclosures that I'm sure will reveal even more. Chloe has asked me twice where Mommy is. I told her Mommy is dealing with some grown-up stuff. Ethan does not really understand yet. I've started them both in therapy. I go on Tuesdays after they go to bed. Dan and I still talk, which is strange, but he's the only other person on earth who fully understands what this feels like. We're not friends exactly, but we're something. 2 guys standing in the rubble of the same building that one person demolished. So that's where I am. I'm a single dad now. I'm trying to figure out how to explain to my daughter why her mum has another little boy she's never met. I'm trying to hold it together during soccer practice and fall apart quietly after the kids go to sleep. People keep telling me I'll get through it. Maybe I will. But right now I just keep thinking about that FaceTime call. A 5-year-old boy calling my 7-year-old daughter Mummy. And the 6 years of lies that one little phone call blew apart in less than 10 seconds. If you've been through something like this, I'd genuinely like to hear how you came out the other side. Because right now, I can't see it.